Yeah, I would like to say I'm very proud of my staff and I'm very proud of my team because getting in at 3:30 in the morning by the time we got to bed, maybe later, we got them up at 11, we tested, we had film sessions, we had practice. I think we won the game in the 2 days of prep, and I give all my staff credit for that. But I thought the players really, I don't know if it was the lift of beating Nebraska. There was getting to be a little weight on their shoulders, but I thought tonight we played Michigan State basketball. We defended, we rebounded, we ran, we made some mistakes. I mean, we turned the ball over more than it was just ridiculous. But to out rebound that team by 25, Hauser gets 14. The job that I thought Kithier and Malik Hall did on Ron Harper, who I think is one of the better players in this league. We just didn't give him many shots. I thought, AJ played good. He had his moments, his freshman moments, but still did some good things. And Rocket came in and really gave us some lift, and especially defensively, but pushing the ball, he's starting to get that. And Gabe hits a couple of shots, and then Josh takes over a little bit at the end. And Aaron Henry is about as efficient in playing about as well, other than the turnovers, as I could ask for in the last 2 games. He's starting to get that thing down where he's getting that 2-foot stop in the paint and getting shots up. He's done a hell of a job and working on his three, but he's been very efficient, not taking many. Still didn't get to the line enough. Line and too many turnovers will give us something to work at, but that was a total team win, and it was needed. It was really needed to win a game the way Michigan State wins games. And we think we can clean up some of those things offensively. And if we could keep our defense, which travels, and we got a chance to take some steps forward.
First question, we'll go to Matt Charbonneau. Tom, it felt like defensively tonight, it felt like that was as well as we've seen them play as the unit probably in a few weeks.
I would have said that.
I agree with that.
I said in maybe a few years. I just thought that what we wanted to take away, the game plan, the way we switched, the things we did, I thought that was one of our better defensive performances in a couple of years, personally. Now, it definitely was the best of the year because it was against a quality team that had size inside. Those guards were great, and we did a heck of a job on Baker. I mean, Harper really did a good job on Mathis. We didn't want to give him any looks. And I thought a pretty good job on Young. He's 5 for 18, but he hits 3 on the layups on our turnovers in the first half. So I just thought, yeah, I'd agree with you on that.
What would you say was the big difference tonight from what we've seen this year? Were there certain guys that just played better, or just part of kind of growing as a team?
I think growing as a team, I think having a feel, and I think Aaron Henry's playing at a whole nother level. We'll all marvel at his 20 points. The last 2 games, he's been unbelievably defensively. And he got into some people tonight. He knocked some balls loose. I was very, it's just his whole demeanor right now. He's even more coachable, not that he hasn't been this year, but he's just doing the things he needs to do to become a great player. And he's got a ways to go, but I think that starts it. I thought Hauser and Kithier did a pretty good job, and Josh Langford, even though he had a little bad stretch in there, he had some good stretches. You bring Rocket in. Defensively, nobody's better than Rocket. And I wish I'd have played Marcus a little bit more. He's been practicing good. Marty, had a couple blocks. So just the whole defense was better. It's not many times I get to name 10 guys. Usually I'm trying to find 1 or 2 that played well.
Next question, we'll go to Lindsey Huddleston.
Hey, great win tonight, Tom. Staying with Aaron, so many storylines we can talk about this season, early in the season, but what do you think is going on with him where it's starting to click? He's almost being that player everyone thought he was going to be or wanted him to be a season or 2 ago, but right now we're seeing it. What do you think is bringing that about?
You know, Lindsay, I'd say they wanted him to be last year a little bit more, and definitely at the beginning of this year. You know, his freshman year, I mean, Aaron wasn't any big name coming in, and but I think it's his consistency. He's in the gym more. He's working more. I think he's growing up. I think it's the process. You know, it's really sad because it's probably the norm for 200 years. But the last 10 years, it's that instant gratification. Everybody needs someone to be so good so quick. And he's really going through the process. You know, you think back, it took Morris Peterson till when to get there, you know? His fourth year. It takes other guys time, and we're just such a fast twitch society right now. Everybody wants it. But I think he's growing up. He's maturing. You know, I think he's starting to understand. I think he's starting to trust people more. I mean, we've been working hard on those 2-foot jump stops in the paint, and he's really doing it well, and it's getting him so much more under control. And then defensively, you know, and he's starting to act like a captain more too. So if I give him too much more credit, then I'm going to regret it. So I'll just cut it off there. But I am proud of him because that's what's supposed to happen. And when player coaches are on the same page, that's what does happen.
Great, thank you. We'll go to Chris Solari.
That second half run, the defense was there, obviously, and you guys were able to answer and counterpunch, but it seemed like there was a little something with Joey and Rocket in that two-man game that you kind of maybe discovered a little bit. I guess what you see from both of those guys in the last 12, 14 minutes that you can build on?
Well, I've been telling Rocket for a year and a half, you know, he's so athletic. I mean, he got the ball down the court in 3.6 seconds and went from one end to the other before halftime and almost made a shot. And I told him he settles too much for threes, and they're those pullback ones, and now he's starting to drive the ball. He's just a better player, to be honest with you. His shot will come back. He hit that nice three at the end, but right now, driving the ball gets some people open. We felt we did a poor job in our spacing, and that we got to really fix, and that would help Rocket even more. But boy, him going by people, you know, it really makes it better, and he puts pressure on the defense, and he's shooting like 88% from the free throw line. So I think we have, and Joey is a pick and pop guy. He really did a nice job that one time when Rock took it deep in, threw it back. That was a big three. I think we missed him a couple times. That's the things Rocket's got to get better at. But, you know, then he goes out there and checks. And, I mean, he's coming around, you know. And I played him, at both guard and point guard. And I said, I'm not giving up on that. It's just trying to get him to relax more. But I think he's starting to figure out that driving the ball helps a little bit.
Next, we'll go to Nate Atkins at Lansing State Journal.
Yeah, Tom, I know coming into this game you've been impressed by Malik Hall at times this year. What is it about his approach or his game that lets you kind of be the challenge like Harper?
Well, he's a very smart student, and he's a very smart basketball player. He has a high basketball IQ. He's done a great job with his body. He's strong, 6'7". He's one of our leading rebounders. Now, tonight, I don't know how many he got. He only got 4 because Joey took all of them, you know. But he rebounds the ball pretty well, and he's really starting to shoot that three. So between him and Joey, sometimes we went with a small lineup, and we have 5 guys that can shoot it, and that was a plus. So we're going to get better at that, I really, really, really believe. But Malik Hall is an important cog because he did a hell of a job guarding Harper, and Harper is, like I said, a hard guy to guard.
Next up, Kyle Austin. Now, I want to ask a little bit more about the defense. Because, you know, some of those losses, obviously, the numbers weren't great, but you seem like you thought they were still doing okay. I mean, have you seen them be pretty consistent and in practice on that end of the court?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the first part.
I said, you know, some of those losses that, you know, defensively the numbers weren't great, but you seem like you were still okay with what they were doing out there, you know, especially like Minnesota. Have you seen them be pretty consistent there, or?
No, At Minnesota, I was better. At Northwestern, we were awful. Wisconsin, I thought we were okay. But even those, if you remember some of those smaller games early, teams were shooting threes against us. Now, they made some hellacious threes, but I just didn't feel that there was a grind to our defense. Tonight, we knew it was going to be a physical game. He is a really good coach, and his teams are tougher than nails. And I thought we took the fight to them a little bit, which was very important. And hopefully that'll give us, because, the road, we got Purdue, and then we got Iowa. I mean, the road doesn't get any easier. But to beat a team like that the way we did, they'll bounce back too. They're too well coached and too many good players. But I just think this is going to give us a boost and something we can build on, and now really start fixing the offense a little bit more. And I think we'll keep improving.
Next we got Larry Lake. Hey Tom, in the first half when you're having a lot of turnover issues as a team and most of the team was shooting poorly, how key was it that Aaron, played so well in that half in particular?
Well, Aaron was, he did the job for us because which best players are supposed to do. I hate to say it. And Cash saved us a lot too. But Aaron was, what I liked about him, he was efficient. It wasn't a volume of shots. He was efficient. I thought he took one bad shot, and it was a little fadeaway that wasn't awful. I just thought at the time he could have got in there. But, yeah, Aaron saved us a little bit, but I don't know how anybody could have felt good turning the ball over like we did. 49 shots, the lowest number of shots. Now, part of it is they guard too. But part of it was, you have 18 turnovers, you're not going to get many shots up. And shot well from the line, that was encouraging. We shot okay from the three, we just didn't take many, which might have been a good thing. But I'd sure like to got, 10, 12 more shots up.
Next question will go to Jane at the State News.
Hi, Tom. Sorry to kind of go back to Aaron one last time, but we talked about him developing and how that takes time. I'm wondering what you see from him maybe in practice or in off time that you think is helping him develop on the court and as a leader for this team as well.
Aaron's the type of guy that he's got so many great qualities, and yet since the day he came here, his father, myself, the other coaches, it was like you just got to push him. And now he's starting to be self-motivated. And that's the difference between good and great, I think. When you're self-motivated, you're in watching a little more film, you're in doing a little more shooting. Your practices are a little bit more intense. You want to do things for yourself. It's always better than doing them for somebody else. And I just think that's the maturity and that's the growth. I'm not ready to canonize it yet because it's been a couple of games, but I think there's a real comfort level now that I have a base to go back to and say, hey, this is why you're playing better. We went to him a couple times. I thought a couple times we didn't go to him. And I told my guys, we got to, we're forgetting about Aaron because he's a good passer too. Like tonight, he only had one assist. I just didn't think he touched the ball enough because he's not selfish. I'd like to get him and Hauser to touch the ball more because they make good decisions. So I think it's just, a little bit of maturity, a little bit of self-motivation, a little bit of hunger, all the things that come as you go through the process of getting better.
Next we'll go to Jack Edling.
3 weeks ago, Oakland came in here and scored 91 points. Tonight, Rutgers got less than half of that and 30 less than they got against Iowa. Can you use this with your team to show them what Spartan basketball is supposed to be again?
Well, that was the battle cry before and after the game. When we talked about defense, we just said I've been excusing some of it. We talked about more physical play, rebounding better. And I think that, this was one of those nights too. I mean, what did they shoot? 30 and 25. That's like us at Minnesota. So, everybody's going to have some of these games, whether we like it or not. And So I think part of it was our defense, but I think part of it was, Rutgers not doing the things they needed to do, and they'll get back on track. I promise you that. But I think this gives us a barometer of where we can be as far as defensively. I think it gives us something that we can tell our guys, this is what happens when you guard and you shoot poorly the first half, you can still win the game. And sooner or later, the more you guard, the more rebounds you get. The more rebounds you get, the more fast break, and maybe you get some easy buckets. Because they shot 30, and I don't know how many layups they got. It wasn't a ton, but they got some easy shots off our turnovers. So that even makes our half-court defense even more impressive.
Next is Brendan Quinn.
Tom, your thoughts on AJ in his second start, and also, can you touch on Julius, not getting in there tonight?
Yeah, Julius was unbelievable on our scout team, and we were going to get him in there, but I told you, I'm going to have to shrink that group a little bit. It'll be different guys. We wanted Marcus to be in there, and we got to go against some size now, and maybe that'll make a difference, but I don't feel any different about Julius as far as, later on. We just got to get him in there because he's worked his tail off and has been very good. As far as AJ, there were some things I really liked, but there were some things that, I tell him that sometimes these Philadelphia guys are cool and casual. I always bring up you and him, and that's not a compliment, by the way. And, there were some things we gave up a 3 just because, he's got to learn to grind it. I made a couple of turnovers that I thought were kind of unforced, ridiculous turnovers, and but that's going to happen. He's a freshman. He also had 6, how many assists did he have? 6 assists. So he did some things very well. He can drive and get in there a little bit better. I'm pleased with what AJ did, but I know it's got to be better and better and more consistent if we're going to be a real good team. But second start, I'm pleased, yes.
All right, our final question tonight comes from Audrey Dahlgren.
My question is about AJ as well, Tom. He had that steal right at the beginning of the game and kind of set the tone for you guys.
There you are. You back? You got it. Yeah, I got cut off, so you can go ahead. You said AJ start the tone of the game early. I heard that, and then it went out.
Yeah,
You know,
the game, and getting that steal, you
Yeah.
wanted him to do better defensively for this game. So what was it like to just, see that?
Well, it was good, and then he went down and finished on a tough layup, because he has strength. I still think, he's going to be really good. We're going to have to keep getting him in better shape. And, some of that was because of the injury, and we got to just keep improving him now. And I think his practices, I told Aaron, he's got to take him now and mentor him because his practices, Aaron said one time tonight, well, he was like me as a freshman. And no, we can't do that, I said, because he's the point guard, and he laughed and I laughed. It was late in the game. But I think that is the deal with him right now. It's the intensity and realizing how tough it is to play that position. He just got to continue to work. And he's done better, but he's got a ways to go. But I am proud of him, the way he played, because that's not easy to get thrown in on the road, thrown in on a big game with great guards. Those guards are a handful to cover, and I thought he did a pretty good job defensively. He had some tough turnovers and some tough, maybe bad plays where he's thinking like high school, you can drive in there, get a shot up there. There's a 7-1 guy with octopus arms, and the kickouts I thought were open. So that's something we can work with him on in film and show him that those decisions will change a little bit.
Thanks.
Right, that's all the questions we have for you tonight, Coach. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, guys.